I'm Steve Perry from SmokeyandTheBandwidth.com, and I'm here with the Vamo. Well, part of the Vamo. The Vamo is a variable voltage, variable power, wattage, whatever you want to call it, device. And it's relatively new on the scene, very cheap. You can pick these up for about 50 bucks, depending on where you find them on the internet. I got this one from Indie Vapor Shop when I was in there. I saw it. I needed a backup for my Z-Max. I picked it up for 60 bucks. And the reason why I needed a backup, the Z-Max, by the way, has, and I have a friend who has one that I talked to as well. We were both having a problem with the button. Sometimes when you hit it, it doesn't fire. I was afraid it was going to go out on me. I said, I need a backup. I picked up the Vamo. The Vamo, like the Z-Max, has two different power options for running it and has both variable voltage and variable wattage. But what the Vamo has that the Z-Max doesn't have is an extra tube, as you see here. And it comes, this is the way it comes. It comes with all three pieces. It comes actually together, but it comes with all three pieces. And that makes it to where you can use an 18350 IMR, and lithium ion if you prefer, battery, and you have basically a mini Vamo. A lot of your other devices that have mini versions, it's a separate version you got to buy. Some of them have a bottom cap that you can buy an extra cap for to use a larger battery on a smaller device, whatever the case may be. But as you see here, it's on. As you see here, this works as you get it with a single 18350, or you can use your larger 18650 battery, or you can stack two 18350s, which I'm not going to do for the purpose of this video. But I don't know of any other device that does that straight out of the box, and certainly that does it for 50 bucks, and that really impressed me. The threading on this thing doesn't really impress me. It's a little sticky, a little tight in places, but it was 50 bucks, you know what I'm saying? This is a great unit, and I'm going to show you what it looks like with a couple of different devices on it. Now, when I did the review of the lava tube, I said I love the flat top look of it for when you're going to put any kind of tank on it. Actually, let's start out with this Stardust here, or this Vivi Nova. I don't know why I've been calling it a Stardust all day. I just like the way it looks. It makes it look like a solid device, like it's, you know, supposed to look that way. And that's with the Vivi Nova, the latest version, which I don't like, by the way. I like the look of it, but the ones with the plastic tubes just work a lot better as far as I'm concerned. Also, your Vision Redo, your Stardust, whatever you want to call it, those work native on here as well because of the Ego threading. And this has the Ego threading on the inside too, unlike the Z-Max. So devices that you buy that are only threaded for the Ego threading and not threaded on the atomizer will work on this device as well. What won't work natively on this device is the T3, because for some reason they decided to make the T3 base too big to go on anything that's Ego threaded pretty much. I got the Lambo, as I dropped the adapter. I got the Lambo, I've got the Z-Max, and now the Vamo, and the T3 from Kangaroo won't work on any of them. So you're going to have an adapter if you want to use one of those. And it's, yeah, it makes it a little odd looking, I think. But that's just cosmetics. It works fine. But that's how a couple of your different devices look on there. Oh, and my favorite, these massive cartomizers. I forget, I think it's a 3mm cartomizer from Smoke Tech, dual coil cartomizer. And, you know, it screws on there natively. Looks decent. I typically use these with a dual coil tank, and I'll get into why here in a second. But first, here's how it works. Alright, now when you first get the device and put your batteries in, it will be off. You'll see the light flash when you put the batteries in, but to turn it on, you need to click the fire button 5 times. And that will turn it on. The device will say on the screen. Now, when you turn it on, it will be at 3 volts, and it should say, 3.1 because I hit the up button. The button on, as you look at the device, the button on your right will be the up button, the button on this side will be your down button. And you can change the volts, obviously, by clicking the up button or the down button. When you get to the top of the, if you're using the down button, when you get down to 3, it will click over to 6, and if you're using the up button, when you get to 6, it'll click back to 3. That's in your standard variable voltage setting. Now, if you want to change it over to variable wattage, you simply press and hold both buttons at the same time for about 5 seconds, and it turns over to 3 watts. The up button will then take you up in half-watt increments, the down button down in half-watt increments, and you can use it in whichever function you want. Now, let's screw something onto here. Doesn't really matter what. To get the voltage of your battery, you're going to take the up button, or excuse me, the ohms of the, that would be the ohms of your atomizer. You take the up button, hold it for 5 seconds, and it will give you the ohms. If you want to check the voltage of your battery, press the down button, hold it for 5 seconds, yes, and there's your voltage. Now, the power function requires you to hold either button for an inordinate amount of time. And once it gets good and ready, it will change over to the power feature. There you go. And you have N01 or N02. And that's the way the buttons work on this device. That's all there is to it. Very simple. No complicated menu. So now we're going to get back into the regular review. Alright, that's the way the buttons work, but how does the device work? And the answer is very well. I love this device with my dual coil tanks. It's got, of course, I use the NO1 setting. You may not want to use it if you're not familiar with the 2 powers. The NO2 is a more, you can get your technical information on this somewhere else. I'm not your tech guy. I'm your practical application guy. The NO2 won't blow your stuff up. The NO1 will. I've had this device for 2 weeks now. I've already blown out a dual coil cartomizer on it. It's not a big deal. You replace it with another one, but if you're on a real tight budget or something like that, you blow something up that can set you back a week. NO1 is great for your dual coil cartomizers, and on NO1 this performs. I've got the version 2 Z-Max. This outperforms my Z-Max, and I've had no issues with the button like what I had on the Z-Max. I highly recommend the Vamo. There's a version 1 and a version 2. Some of the people that have the version 1 are complaining about the spring in the bottom and their battery rattling. The version 2 has a newer, larger spring. It has all the safety features that you need. It is a hot spring. It's got the reverse battery protection. It's a sturdy device. It's going to perform well for you. It's safe as far as these devices go. We all know there can be problems depending on what batteries you use, and stacking batteries always presents its own set of complications. But using this with a IMR 18650 or 18350 battery, you should have no problems, and it just outperforms the Z-Max in my opinion. This is my go-to device. This is the main device I have in my arsenal. Now, if you want more reviews, especially if you're a trucker and you need to find vapor shops to get into, go to SmokeyInTheBandwidth.com. It's not bandit, it's bandwidth.com. We got some reviews up there for you. We got some vapor shops that you can get into as a trucker, and I'm working on a GPS device for the Ram McNally Truckers GPS, a point of interest add-on for you to get some vape shops into your into your GPS. Another guy made this. I'm trying to adapt it to get it over for the Rand McNally GPS. We'll see if I have any luck with that. Stay tuned to Smokeyandthebandwidth.com. I am Steve Perry, and as always, keep on vaping.